Hello and welcome to another Ask Nerida Joy video. I have a familiar face for you all here today, and this is Thuy. And we have done, I think we've done 2 other filming sessions, is that right, Thuy, with you, or is this 3?
I think it's 3, yeah.
3, okay. So it's been 6 weeks since I've seen Thuy's skin, and since you've all seen it as well. We have had her working on her levels, and if you remember from the very beginning when I first saw Thuy, I was so horrified in how dry her levels were. It was crazy how thin and just how aged and dry, and I mean aged because they were just so dehydrated, her levels, and her skin just kept sucking up everything I was putting on it. What we have here now is a different skin. I haven't cleansed her at all, and once I clean her skin, I'm going to have the camera guy come over with his camera so you can all see how much better her skin is. But I can see, without even touching her skin right now, her pore size is better. Her levels, her skin looks more dewy. It's more flexible than what we were dealing with in the very beginning. And when you've got a dewy, flexible skin, it's a healthier skin. It's a more youthful skin. So what I can see with Thuy's skin is it's just so much healthier. And that is so wonderful because her pitting doesn't look anywhere near as deep as it used to be either. And her pore size is really nice. So I'm going to cleanse off her skin. I'm just using the K gel cleanser, and we're going to cleanse it off here. It's so different just massaging her skin now from when I first started. I mean, it's bouncy and it's flexible and it's so youthful. It's so different. It's so great. So she's been 6 weeks working at her skin with her home care regimen. And she's using AHAs and she's using retinols. So she's really giving it a lot by using the different molecules that are really helping her fibroblast cells to really to hydrate and to help with the depth of her pore size, to help keep her pore size really small and strong. But it's a much different skin. Now remember, when you're doing your cleansing at home, it's always really important to do those circular motions and get under any fine facial hair, because these cheeks out here, often the skin gets really grey and lifeless looking because you're not really working this area on the face. Most people are generally a little lazy with their cleanser anyway, but they tend to focus more on their T-zone. It's really, really important to get this area. So I'm using my disposable sponges. So you can see Thuy's pore size is much better, and this of course is at the very beginning of her facial treatment. The pitting on the sides of her face is much better, and just that her skin is more flexible, it's more hydrated, it's more dewy, it's a healthier skin. So what we've done here is we've cleansed Thuy's skin once with the K cleanser. This here is the exfoliating mask. I'm putting it on. I'm not going to mix any of the healing gel with the exfoliating mask today. Thuy's skin is much more hydrated than it was when we first saw her. It is a very different skin. It's a much healthier skin. It's a much prettier skin. And we're working this exfoliating mask into the skin. It does have a little glycolic in it. It is going to be a little stingy on her skin, but I want to work it into her skin really well because I'm going to go a little bit stronger on her skin today with an AHA and a retinol, just to pick it up, give it that boost, a little bit stronger than her home care regimen, so that we can move it up to that next level. It's so much easier to make a good skin better when the levels are really hydrated and it's healthy. And that's what Thuy has been able to do for her skin just by using her home care, is she's really improved her levels so much so that it's just going to get better and better, her skin, and a lot faster than before, because while ever her skin was just lacking in nutrients and it was so dry, her levels, it's hard to it's hard to get anything happening where you really see a big improvement quickly. Whereas now it's so much healthier, so things are going to move a lot faster for her. It took so much working in product and just treatments before with my first treatment I did on her. If you remember, or if you've seen the previous videos, I was having to put on more and more because her skin was just sucking it up. And even once she left, it looked better, but it was still dehydrated. And even over the couple of months that I was working with her skin, because I would see Thuy at work, we worked together, I would still see her levels. It took a long time for those levels to get really hydrated, and that's with what she was doing on a daily basis, which was hydrating. It really took quite some time until it really started to go, oh my gosh, now it's really hydrated. So now we are talking about a completely different skin. So this mask stings a little bit when it's on the skin. It's an exfoliating mask. And they call it a mask, but really masks normally are done at the end of a treatment. This one is an exfoliating mask, but its exfoliants are usually done after cleansing, because if you exfoliate after cleansing, then that removes any of that dry outer layer, any little impurities of bacteria, dead cells and sebum. It just helps to clean the pores. It just helps to clean it all round. And that way it absorbs your treatment products better, your serums, your moisturizers for home care. So even though it is a mask, it's called a mask, it is still used after cleansing. And it's not to be left on the skin too long. You don't need to leave it on the skin a long time. Just a few minutes is sufficient. Just make sure you work it in, and that you work it in around those cheeks again, where everyone gets very grey in this area because they're not really working under that fine facial hair. So that's really important. So we've exfoliated Thuy's skin, and her skin is just looking amazing. It feels so different, I can't even tell you. From when I first started working with her skin, it is just a completely different skin. And I've done nothing other than cleanse and exfoliate, and haven't touched her face in 6 weeks. So today's the first time in a long time. So I'm going to work in a strong retinol, the retinol formula in Thuy's skin. Again, we're dealing with scarring and pitting here. We are dealing with a very, very clean skin. I can see by looking at her nose and her chin area that her pore size is really good. Her pores are very, very clean. She has been very good on her home care regimen. And of course, she probably knows I'll see her at work, so she's, I'm sure, scared. She knows I could tell if she wasn't, but she's been really good, and her pores are very, very clean. And so we are going to work in that retinol right now, and I'm going to work it into the skin a little bit. This is a retinol formula. It's quite yellow in color. This is an amazing product. It's an amazing retinol. It is not prescription strength. I do not recommend prescription strengths. And the reason I don't recommend them is that I want you to be able to use them on a regular basis. Because if you use retinols and AHAs on a regular basis, then your skin will be better. It'll be more youthful, and it will be healthier, and you will look younger. And we all want to look younger. And we want our skin to be pretty and healthy, and we want all of that. Lifted, smaller pores, tighter, no jarling, a better neck, and that's what retinols work on, all of those things. So we're working this retinol in. Okay, we are going to use a little bit of the eye gel around the eye area, and it's always good to, you never want to not use an eye product, because the skin around the eye area is a thinner skin. It doesn't have sebaceous activity in these close areas by the eye. There's no oil, but as you can see down here with Thuy, her oil starts here, so you can see her pores are from here down, but up here, very close under her eye, she does not have sebaceous glands. So we're just working that eye product in around the eyes, the eye gel. I always use more product than I should. I love product, and I really love retinols. I'm such a fan, and how they work on the skin and how they improve the skin is just amazing. Years ago, you know, they didn't have retinols, and so retinols really, it changed the skin so much. So we are actually able to make a skin look so much more youthful and younger. You can take years off your skin just with using retinols and AHAs, but retinols in particular are just extraordinary in how they work. And there's so many different kinds now that, they're not all drying and that make your skin red and damage your capillaries. I mean, those are the prescription kinds that can be too aggressive for a lot of people. And nowadays, a lot of people with finer, fairer skin, and especially people that are doing lasers, you can't use prescription retinol on skins that are fine and thin, because prescription retinols make your skin fine and thinner anyway. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep our skin strong and sturdy because we're living longer, and we want to keep our skin thicker. Our skin gets thinner as we get older. So it's really important to make sure that we do everything to support and keep our skin really strong and sturdy. I'm working in this strong retinol. It's called the retinol formula. It is a professional retinol. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of the Q flavonoid now. And this is this dark color. The Q flavonoid is a bioflavonoid. It feeds the skin a lot of nutrients, and it is an extraordinary product in how it works on the skin. It has arnica in it. It has vitamin K, so it also brightens. So when someone has, a lot of people have blotchiness, a little discoloration, brown blotchiness on the skin, this really brightens the skin, but more importantly, it really feeds the skin a lot of nutrients. And if you feed the skin a lot of nutrients, it heals really quickly. And that's super important. So for people that get pimples, a lot of people, they have a mark from a pimple for a really long time. So if you're someone whose skin marks really easily, and the marks stay there for a long time, and a long time meaning more than, a week to 2 weeks. Some people have marks that stay there for months. That means your skin is not as healthy as it should be, and you need to feed it nutrients so that it heals really quickly. Okay, so a lot of people ask me why it is I take off the Q flavonoid and the retinol in my treatments. It's because I have a lot to do in a treatment. And I'm not just hydrating the skin, I'm shrinking pores, and I'm working on the depth of wrinkles, or I'm working on the depth of pitting, or whatever it is I'm doing. So I need to do many different things. So normally at home, you do not remove the retinol, and nor do you remove the Q flavonoid. And these two products I'm talking about are Rejuvi brands, retinol and the Q flavonoid. So you do not remove those, they stay on the skin. I know there are many different products out there, a lot of really good products, but these ones, the Rejuvi ones that I'm using in treatment, do stay on the skin, and you go to bed with them on your skin. You do not wash them off. So we've worked the Q and the retinol into Thuy's skin, and I'm now going to remove it with warm towels. I'm going to be doing a stronger AHA on her right now. So we have, I've removed the Q and the retinol off Thuy's skin. I'm going to be doing a stronger AHA on Thuy. I'm going to be using the Fruit Complex number 2, and that is a 35% AHA. It is a complex, meaning that it has a variety of your alpha hydroxy acid molecules, which again is your glycolic, lactic, malic, tartaric, and citrus. And the different molecular sizes and weights work on different levels in the skin. So it's really important to, when you are dealing with scarring or healing or pores, larger pores, it's important to work with the different molecules so that you're getting to the different levels in the skin. And the Fruit Complex number 2, the pH in the fruit complexes are a little bit lower than a lot of brands. It's a 2.8, which means that it is going to be equivalent to probably a 3.0 pH. That might be a 40, a percentage of 40% in some other brands, but this one is a 35. It could even be a 40 to 45. It is a little stronger, and we're going to be putting that on Thuy's skin. I'm using half a cotton round because I want to get it on her skin. I always have so much to do in my treatments, and I like to have my hands on my client's face as much as I can. I have worked with people in the past that spend so much time just doodling around and not touching the client's face. And whether they're fussing and they're not prepared with all their tools in the beginning, it's really important to be conscious of that when you have X amount of time with your client wants your hands on their face. So be conscious of that you're giving them their time that they're paying for. So that's really important. Just make sure, again, your fruit complexes, they can go right up under the eyes. We said up close where she has her pores, which are very close. People that tend to be oily have pores that are very close up here, either side of the nose and under the eye area. So you want to make sure you're putting it up there and getting it very close, that you're not leaving any areas out. So what we have on Thuy's skin right now is we've got the Fruit Complex number 2, and it is a complex. It has your different alpha hydroxy acid molecules, your glycolic, lactic, malic, tartaric, and citrus. It's a 35%, which our pH is a little bit lower than other brands, which is probably equivalent to a percentage of 40% or 45%. But we're going to leave this on her skin. She will feel a little bit of tingling with it on, but look how much better her skin looks. Her pitting on her cheeks, this was so gray, this area here in the beginning, and just the quality of her skin is just so much better. Her pore size is much better. So she might be getting a little bit pink from the Fruit Complex right now. We're going to leave it on her skin for 5 minutes. Okay, so we're back with leaving the Fruit Complex number 2 on Thuy's skin. It's been on for 5 minutes. We're going to now remove it with some cool water and my disposable sponges. I like being able to use as much as I possibly can disposable, because I always feel like I'm always rushing. And I don't want to be spending time cleaning things that I can be just throwing out. I would prefer to have disposable items. It allows me to get my clients in a little bit sooner, and I can book with just a smaller cleanup time in between my clients, which is really great. Okay, so we have now removed the Fruit Complex number 2 on Thuy's skin. What I'm going to be doing is putting a little bit of healing gel on. I like to use a little bit of healing gel after I've done the Fruit Complex on the skin, because the skin's going to be a little bit stingy. So we want to be able to use that on the skin. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to do a collagen mask on her today, and I'm going to prepare the skin so that it doesn't, it's a little bit runny once I mix it. So I want to just prepare the skin. This is a tissue. I cover the hairline here because I want to make sure if it a little bit gets in the hair, it's hard to get out. So I want to make sure that it's protecting and it's not running everywhere. Cotton pads, you want to protect the eyes. In Thuy's case, I'm folding it because I want the mask to get quite close around her eyes, so I'm just doubling the cotton pads over. And what we're doing is, this is a collagen. It's 2 packets. We mix them. You use a rubber bowl because I like to be able to squeeze it when I'm putting it on, as you'll see shortly. So once you have the 2 powders in the bowl, the rubber bowl, you have to mix them dry before you add water. So we're going to mix them here, and then you just add a little distilled water. And you want to make sure you've got your client prepped before you add water, because once you add water, it sets quite quickly. And this is where it's like mixing a cake. The mask comes with its own little container. I always leave it about 1/4 inch from the top, and if you add a little bit too much water, it makes it too runny. So we don't want to do that. So here we go, and this is where I'm squeezing my bowl and pouring it on. And again, it's just a way of being able to get it on the skin really quickly. And you have to work quite fast with masks like this because they dry. So this is collagen. Collagen is wonderful. I really love collagen masks. I love the freezer-dried collagen masks. I find collagen very healing, and I like a hyaluronic acid. I find them both very healing. They're different. Everything, all these ingredients, they all have a purpose. They're very specific in how they work on the skin. So I'm just going to stand because I want to make sure we get it all around this chin area as well. And we don't want to forget the top lip. So Now just be conscious when you're working around the lip or around the nose. Just be conscious that it's a little uncomfortable sometimes to the client. So you want to make sure that the mask isn't going in their nose. And it almost looks like it could be on some people. It's very close up here under Thuy's nose too. So you just want to make sure it's comfortable for them. And the same around the mouth, you know, because your client can feel everything. They can feel if you have more mask on one side, or they can feel it if it's running down the side of the neck. And these masks, because they are a little bit runny, it's you want to make sure that you've got it everywhere. And because, as I said, your client can feel it. So, and if it feels uneven to them, it's not going to feel comfortable. Now, what I like to do over top of this mask is it stays on the skin. Usually I'll do a hand or a foot massage while it's on the face. I like to use the 4x4 gauze. And if I place it over the mask like this, and then one more sheet, if you remember in one of my other videos on Thuy, we did the C remineralizing, which is a detoxifying mask, which is also really good for oily skins. But her skin's different now. It's better, it's healthier, and it's a much better skin. So we're going to do something a little bit different on her, which is the collagen, and that's why we have that on her. Now this allows me to push down and mold it to the face a little bit, because obviously if I didn't have this on there, I'd have goop all over my hands, because it does take you know, about 15 minutes to dry. So we're going to leave that on her skin, and we'll be back shortly once it's all dry to take it off. Okay, so we have left this mask. This is a collagen mask on Thuy's skin. It's been on 15 minutes. We're going to now take it off. And here we go with our, I like to take these masks off from the bottom, going upwards on the skin. And we're going to okay, so we're just removing the residue pieces of the collagen mask off Thuy's skin. We just get sort of a little bit around the nose and around the hairline, and also just a little bit around the eyebrows too. There's always that little residue from it. And we don't want to use too much water on it, because we don't want to take it off, but just a little bit of residue there. Okay, so look how amazing her skin looks. It looks so great. We're going to put a little bit more retinol on her skin now, and some Q-flavonoid. It's quite late at night over here, so she's going to be going to bed with it on. I am using the professional retinol on her again, and we're going to mix a little bit of the Q with that on her skin, and she's going to be going to bed. But look how great her skin looks. It looks amazing. And it is so flexible. It's such a different skin from when I first saw her. It's fantastic. It makes me really happy. I'm just going to use a little bit of the retinol. You know, once a week, it's okay to use a little retinol up close under the eye area, but I'm not a huge fan of having a stronger retinol in an eye product, because already the skin is a thinner skin. So I want to make sure that, you know, you don't want to thin it back too much, because otherwise, you know, when we get older, we get those bluey veins that start showing through. So we just want to, every so often, give the eye area a boost. It's okay to use a little bit of that retinol. And it's certainly great to use the Q-flavonoid around the eye area too. So there's Thuy's skin. Her skin looks amazing. It is so great to see her. It's been 6 weeks. And she's on a good home regimen, and her skin looks fantastic. Thank you again for joining us for another Ask Nerida Joy video. Please remember to subscribe and like if you like, and we will see you again soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.